All right, what I got here is a Swisher log splitter cylinder. Looks like it's about a 5-inch bore, and we're going to be doing a reseal on it today. If you like this sort of thing, if you would go down there, consider clicking that subscribe, turn the bell on for notifications, and giving this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Recently set up an Amazon affiliates link. It's down there in the description because guys were asking about tools. So if you feel so inclined to do that, tools are linked down in the description, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did choose to go that route. All right, we're going to be, like I said, this is a Swisher log splitter cylinder, 5-inch bore, and we're going to get into resealing this. First thing we're going to do is, I've got the ports facing the bottom. I'm going to pull the rod out, make sure all the oil is out of it. Okay, looks like the majority of the oil was out. This does have a 1/2-inch pinhole for where the clevis goes on. And it is leaking out the back port onto the floor. So since all the oil is out, I'll flip this around, put the ports back on top. First thing on these lug splitter cylinders, there's an Allen bolt here. And that Allen bolt is holding the gland in, keeping it from going back because there's an internal locking ring here. So I got a 3/16 Allen wrench here and remove the socket cap screw. Now that that's out, we can hit this gland back. Got an aluminum punch here I'll take and just hit this head back. Okay, as you can see, that moved that back. There's some rust in there too. Next thing is getting this lock ring out. Generally on these lock rings, you can generally get a standard screwdriver started up underneath, just enough. Be sure and hold another finger over, keep it from flying out if it comes out. But basically you can take it out like that. Then I like to take and just clean this area up where all that was. Take some freeze off, not sponsored, but the link is in the description. Spray that freeze off around. Give it a wipe down again. Now we're ready to pull the rod out. So I'll put this rod back in, then I'll go ahead. I'll put a rag over my port. Once I go to hitting on it, it may want to spray some oil up out a little bit. Once the piston reaches the gland, it'll stop. I'll take my sledge and then I'll hit this rod, not this rod. So you can see that gland's moving back. Once it starts to get close to the end, generally you can walk it out. So I'll take the rod, I'm pulling tension, holding tension to the rear and wiggling up and down and just walking the piston out. Okay, that's out. Go ahead and clean this. That don't feel too bad. I'll probably take a wire wheel and clean this groove out. And then I'll probably take a little flapper disc and clean this area here, because generally this spot in here, the square that sits in front of this lock ring, this here will usually have a lip to it. It'll be rolled from the locking ring. So I'll clean that so it doesn't catch the piston seal or the O-ring when we go back together with it all. So I'll probably go ahead and do that now since the tube's right there. I'll move the rod out of the way. These bigger bore cylinders, I need a big pile of rags. Stuff them in there. Okay, 1/4-inch die grinder here with a wire wheel on it. If you guys know a good source for wire wheels, let me know down there in the comments. I generally go through Granger, but everything seems too stiff. I'll clean this groove out. Now I've got a flap disc here. I'll take and run it more so on this outer lip. Okay, I'll take my rag and clean all this out where I just cleaned all that. I'll pull all my rags out. Do not forget these. And as you can see, that looks a lot better in there. Double check, make sure there's no rags left in there. Okay, that's it for the tube. I'll take it out. I'll set it to the side. Okay, now for the rod. If you can see, looks like we got some backup. Looks like part of the backup ring's been extruded and failed there possibly. The piston seal looks pretty flat. Looks like this has been used quite a bit. I'll go ahead and take the gland. Basically the gland you can just take and slide it off like that. And then our piston seal. This does have a set screw and some spanner holes here. More than likely there's probably an O-ring under here. It's usually hit or miss with these, but generally if you can take it off, there's an O-ring. So I'll take my aluminum pads for the vise jaws. And I'll go ahead and raise this up a little bit. And I'll go ahead and try to take this off. That way we can see, make sure there's nothing under there. It's got a Allen head set screw, looks like 7/64 maybe. Yeah, 7/64. I'll go ahead and remove that, and with any luck, I can take my face spanner and break this loose, or, well, I'll just use my hand. Even better. We're just taking this apart, check for an O-ring. And there is one right there, so it's a good thing we took it off. And it's seen better days. So that's as far as we're taking it, breaking it down, as far as it goes. Clean this up. Set that to the side. Okay, now I'll go ahead and start with the piston. I'll take the piston seal off. This is a 2-piece. Take the main seal off. Oh, no, I take that back. This is a 1-piece. Looks similar to a, no, I take that back again. This is a 2-piece style seal. There we go. Seen so much pressure and stuff that it almost formed itself as 1 piece. So that's the expander and the piston seal there. That's it for the piston. We'll set it to the side. Now the gland. Start on the outside, take the O-ring off, then the backup. Flip it over to the inside, and we'll take the U-cup out in there. That blue U-cup, which if you can see it, it's cracked right there. And we'll take the wiper out. So, dig the U-cup out. Right there. And that was the failure point there at the lip part of it. If you can see it there, that little groove in there. And take the wiper out. And that's it. That's the seals out of that. We'll get everything cleaned up, get the head cleaned up, piston cleaned up, and we'll get the new seals and we'll get putting it back together. All right, we're back. Got everything cleaned up here, got the seals, and we're gonna start putting her back together. For starters, I got a, what was this, an inch and 3/8 OD 0 series O-ring. We'll start right here, put that on. Then we'll go ahead and actually I think I'll go ahead and put the piston seal on. This is a PSM 350. This is the same dimensions as a 3 Series O-ring. For starters, we'll put the expander on, right like that. Make sure it's not twisted. And then we'll put the seal on, the main seal on itself. So I'll get, basically on these, you get one side started like that and continue to work and stretch until it gets to that point. And then you can take and put it on. Next, we'll go ahead and put the piston on. This was hand tight, so we just need to make sure that the set screw hole lines up properly. And that is a little tighter now that that new O-ring's in there. I'll go ahead and get my, it's a Proto C483 spanner wrench or face pin spanner or whatever you want to call it. I'll go ahead and tighten. Yeah, that's a lot tighter. Almost there. Okay, she's lined up there. Now with this new O-ring here, I would not be able to remove this by hand now. So that O-ring was a issue. Go ahead and start our set screw next. Get a 7/64 Allen wrench and we'll turn that in. Okay, that's tight. Go to our gland. This is we'll start on the outside. This is a 3 Series backup for a 5-inch bore. This is concaved on one side and the concave goes towards the bottom of the gland. Okay, got the backup one. Now we'll put the O-ring on, 3 Series. That concave is on this side and that allows the contour of the O-ring to seat up against it. So we'll put the O-ring on. And that's done there. Flip it over. We'll go with the U-cup. This is stiff. I'll probably use a seal installation tool. This is a 1/4 inch cross section. So the first number is a 2500. It's a 2-inch rod, so it's 2000. And then the height is 3/8, so that's 375. So you want a 2500, 2000, 375. Okay, I got my seal installation tool here. And what it does is deforms that U-cup to get one side started there. Then I can take and release that, get it down in the groove, and then once it's in like this, I can take and push like that. And that's down in there where it needs to be all the way around. Then a 959 or an AN 21 wiper. This is a 2-inch and it goes in the top groove just like so. And that's it as far as the seals go. Okay, I'll take the rod out and flip it around, secure it back in the vise. I want to make sure this chamfer is good and clean. No burrs or anything on it that would cut the U-cup. And I'll take my grease, be pretty generous with it on these, just because I don't want any issues. To where I'll even take a little bit and just put it on the end of the rod there too. Now we'll take and put our gland on. This goes on this way with the U-cup going in first. Make sure everything's square. You can try hitting it like that, but we're probably going to have to take something and put it on the outside of this and hit it on with the sledgehammer. So I've got an old tube here that we use to hit things on with. So I'll slide it over the rod, hold it square to the gland, and I'll take my sledge. I'll take and hit it on like that, and I can take, Push that gland on. Remove the excess. And when I do that, I check for any pieces of rubber that may have cut on that U-cup or anything, and I don't see anything. So now we'll take the excess grease there and we'll put it on this O-ring and back up. And that's it for that. Remove the rod, put the tube back in. Then I'll get some grease in here in the tube pretty generously. And I'll take some grease and put it on the piston seal. All right, once that's all greased up, it's time to put it back together. I'll start my piston. We'll try by pushing, walking, and holding tension. See if it'll go in that way. Okay, that new seal's a little tight. So I'm gonna take my sledge and bump the end of the rod. Okay, once it gets to going in, past there enough and enough room for the gland, we'll check for any cuts. Okay, everything looks good in there. Now I'll slide my gland back. Okay, once that gets there, we'll go back to our punch and we'll take and hit that back. Hit it back far enough to get your lock ring in, and we'll take our lock ring, slide it on, push our lock ring in. Like that. Take and pull our rod back out. Have to hammer it out again until that gland starts to move outwards. All right, it's bottomed out there. Clean that out. And then where our cap screw goes, or our Allen bolt, whatever you want to call it, start that back in. Take our Allen wrench, tighten that down, and snug it. And that's it. All right, I got my air nozzle here. I can take and blow air in that and bring this rod back. And I could run it out this way as well. And the cylinder's resealed. That's how you reseal a Swisher 5-inch bore log splitter cylinder of this style. I believe most are like this, even your smaller ones. So if you got anything out of that, if you would, consider going down there, clicking the subscribe, turn the bell on for notifications, and giving this video a thumbs up. I'd sure appreciate it. Again, Amazon affiliate links down in the description. If you decide you want any tools or anything that I've got down there, or some of them that I use, again, don't have to. I'm not saying that you need to. It's just there as an option. All right, that's it for this one. Until next time, thanks for watching.